Greetings to everybody. Welcome to all our brothers and sisters. We will be reading from the talks on the Gita by Vinobha Bhave. I was reading some thoughts from Swami Vivekananda ji. And according to him, karma means effects of our actions. The meaning of word karma is work. And the goal of mankind, according to Swamiji's knowledge. Pleasure is not the goal for man, but knowledge. And he says the cause of misery is we think pleasure to be the ideal. Both pleasure and pain are good teachers that mold the character of man. So they have a purpose in our life. But he says, work for work's sake. Why I'm bringing the thoughts is because we are learning about this akarma state. And in Swamiji's words, when you work for work's sake, he says there are some who really are the salt of the earth in every country, and those people work for the work's sake. And they don't care for name or fame. They don't care to go to heaven. They simply work because good will come out of it. And there are other people who do to the poor as help mankind. They still have higher motives because they believe in doing good and love good. The motive for name and fame, according to him, seldom brings results. And according to Swamiji, they come to us when we are old and we are almost done with life. But if a man works without any selfish motive, what does he gain? Does he gain anything? Swamiji says he gains the highest. When you work without any selfish motive, you gain the highest. So, unselfish work is more paying. Only, but people have to be patient to practice it. We don't practice it. Love, truth, and unselfishness, according to Swamiji, are not merely figures, moral figures of speech. But if you truly practice them, they form our highest ideal. And in that character lies a manifestation of power. That's why he was a powerful giant. The great masters are all powerful giants because they have love in their heart, truth and unselfishness in service. So he says if a man can work for 5 days or even 5 minutes without any selfish motive, whatever, without having to think about heaven and punishments and or anything, then a capacity of to become a powerful giant will manifest. So there is a greatest manifestation of power in this tremendous restraint and self-discipline. Self-restraint is a manifestation of that great capacity than all outgoing actions. So we have to begin from the beginning. Take up the works as they come to us and slowly make ourselves selfish every day. Because in the beginning, there is selfishness to be recognized, or all this will be there. And this is where our heartfulness method helps as we practice the point B cleansing and point A intentions, as we purify and move from the lower consciousness of animal consciousness to human consciousness. This awareness of unselfish work begins. And then, when we start to work in the remembrance of the divinity, the consciousness of the master, then the work from human level becomes a divine work that is moving from human consciousness to divine consciousness. So we must do the work and find out that motive power that prompts us. And as we observe inside ourselves, usually our motives are selfish, like I just said. So, with persistent practice, this selfishness melts away till it transforms to unselfish work, akarma. The moment we become perfectly unselfish, all the divine powers will be concentrated, and the knowledge which is in ours will manifest. When we move into that state of action, the true power of action manifests. We are mastering karma yoga. We are mastering the state of akarma that Vinobha Bhave is talking about. So we will continue with where we left off. Vinobha Bhave finishes with this statement that sun is not in any way responsible for the merits or sins committed in his light. He will say, light is my nature. What else but light could be there in me? This is a profound statement for us to think. We can only radiate our nature. That is why our masters talk about this transformation of our nature. You can be an angry person and transmit love or transmit joy. That is why our masters focus on, before service, they say, serve yourself, because they know very well you transmit what you are to your family, to your society, to the world itself. So, what else but light could be there in me? Light is my nature. I'm not conscious of giving light. For me, to be means to shine and give light. I do not feel any strain in it. I do not feel that I am doing anything. Giving light is natural to sun. It is the case with the saints also. Their very existence is enlightening. You praise a man of wisdom for his truthfulness. He would say, if I adhere to the truth, what is so special about it? What else can I do? Untruth just cannot exist in such a man. This is what akarma means. Actions become so much a part of one's being and nature that one is not even aware of their happening. You're not aware that you are being good. You are naturally good. The sense organs are then, excuse me for my cough. The sense organs are then naturally disposed to what they should be doing. Right action flows from them of its own accord. So, that is what we need to refine our sense organs. That is the purpose of meditation. That is the purpose of cleaning. That is the purpose of intentions that we make. The senses are coming to a state of balance. They have arrived at that original state. In that original state, if we remember the Nasadeya Sutta, the sages were able to perceive the creation. That is the power of man. And from there we fell. So our job with sadhana is to refine the senses. When the senses are refined, we are able to perceive the heart's vibrations. Your heart will tell you to do or not to do, to serve or not to serve. What is the right action? Hmm. Counsel of wisdom flows out without any self conscious deliberation and effort when senses are balanced. When this happens, karma has become akarma. For a man of wisdom, performance of good actions become as natural and effortless as singing to the birds. Just as a child thinks of his mother naturally, the saints think of God. Another example of such a natural action is the crowing of a cock in the early morning. Panini, who was a great grammarian of ancient India, has given this example while explaining musical notes. The cocks have always been crowing every morning, but has anybody presented them scrolls of honor? Crowing is a cock's natural action. Similarly, it is natural for a sage to speak the truth, to have compassion for all the living beings, not to find fault in others, to serve everybody. He cannot, in fact, live without this karma. Do we honor anybody for having taken his food? Just as eating, drinking, sleeping are normal and natural actions for worldly person, serving others is natural to a man of wisdom. Helping others is his second nature. Even if he were to decide not to help others, it is impossible for him to do so. Karma of such a sage can be said to have become akarma. Such a state has also been given the sacred term Sanyasa. That is the true meaning of Sanyasa. Sanyasa is nothing but the blessed state of akarma. It can also be called karma yoga. Hmm. It is karma yoga since the man of wisdom goes on acting, and it is sannyasa since there is no feeling of doing anything even while actions are done. The man of wisdom acts with such ingenuity that the actions do not bind him. Hence, it is yoga. And as nothing is done even while doing everything, it is sannyasa. What after all does sannyasa mean? Does it mean renunciation of some actions while doing others? No. Sannyasa, in fact, been defined as renunciation of all actions, freeing oneself absolutely from all actions. What does not acting means? How can we give up all the actions? Action is a queer thing. It pervades the whole life. Every sitting is an action. To sit is a verb. Sitting is only an action in grammatical sense, but also in a physical sense. If one sits quiet for a long time, the legs begin to ache. There is strain in sitting also. When such is the case, how can there be renunciation of all the actions? The Lord showed his Vishwarupa, his vision, divine vision, to Arjuna. That all encompassing vision terrified Arjuna and he closed his eyes. But even then, the vision does not disappear. The Vishwarupa appeared before his mind's eye. How can one escape from a thing which continues to be visible even after closing one's eyes? How can one avoid action when it takes place even when you are doing nothing? There is a story of a man who had a lot of precious gold ornaments. He thought of keeping them safely locked up in a box. His servant got a big iron box made for them. He looked at it and said, "You idiot, don't you have a sense of beauty? Should these valuable ornaments to be kept in this ugly iron box? Go and get a good gold box." The servant did as he was told. The master then ordered, "Now bring a gold lock. Only a gold lock would suit the gold box." The fellow wanted to hide his gold from others, but what was the result? There was then no need for the thieves to search for the gold. Just taking away the box was enough. When not doing is also a form of doing, how to renounce action which is all pervasive. The way to renounce such action is to do all the actions in such an ingenuous way that they are shed as soon as you complete them. You finished something, done, you don't think about it. That is why we submit everything at the lotus feet of the Master. Not only the action, everything. You are angry. This is my gift to you, Master. I submit at your lotus feet. I can't carry it. There is joy. Grateful, Master. I submit this. Pain. Sorry. I submit this. I just did a good program. I did per your instructions. I submit this. Everything submit at the lotus feet of your Guru's consciousness. The way to renounce such action is to do all the actions in such an ingenuous way that they are shed as soon as you complete them. Only then sannyasa can be attained. How to do an action without letting it stick to you? Look at the sun. It is working continuously. Even during the night, it is working in other hemisphere. Still, one can say that it does not act at all. That is why the Lord says in the 4th chapter, I taught this yoga first to the sun, and from him the thoughtful and contemplative Manu learnt it. The sun does not work even while working all the time. This is truly a wonderful state. We will read one more paragraph. But this is only one form of sannyasa. To act and still not to be the doer is one aspect, while the other aspect is to make the whole world act without doing anything oneself. This is what the state of Lord Krishna was. He didn't act, he didn't fight, but he made everything manifest. In this state, there is immense power to impel others to act. This is what our masters do. This is the beauty of akarma. They don't work, you think that master is just in his cottage resting. But his power is manifesting in each one of us, making us work. It is packed with power that is capable of infinite work. It is like steam, which, when compressed, does enormous work. It can then easily move big trains. The sun also does not work outwardly, but still works round the clock and is not aware of doing anything. Working day and night and still not doing anything outwardly is its one aspect and setting in motion an infinite number of actions without doing anything outwardly in another aspect. This is the twofold splendor of sannyasa. Both the aspects are far from the ordinary. In one aspect, the action is manifest and the state of akarma is hidden. In the other aspect, the state of akarma is manifest, yet endless activity is continuously going on. In this state, akarma is packed with power. And this is the power that Swami Vivekananda is talking about, resulting in enormous work. This state of akarma is diametrically different from laziness. A lazy man easily gets tired and bored, but a sannyasi in the state of akarma concentrates his energy inside him. He does no work physically, but still he inspires work in enormous measure. Hmm. We will stop here for today. This is the state of being our masters. Babaji used to say, I am very lazy, I don't do anything, I don't. But they are doing something from higher level of manifesting it, motivating us to work and help another heart.